Good morning. So it is spring or full spring. We'll see. We'll see if we don't get any more snow or cold snaps, but it is a beautiful day. So I thought I'd take you guys along for some morning chores. It is muddy and mucky and gross. Good morning, girls. So everyone is waiting. Don't pee right in front of me. Everybody is waiting to be milked and fed. Or not everybody. The two that I'm milking right now, they're waiting to be milked. The other ones are just waiting for hay. We're currently milking the two mamas that delivered first this year. So that's Coco, the Nubian, and Millie, my weirdo goat. And then I haven't started milking the dwarves yet, only because I haven't needed to, but I should probably start doing that very soon. Oh, I need to start a new bale. I know, ladies. No, it's not your turn yet, Millie. But they're not ready to go. I got these goat hobbles off of Amazon, and they are actually, they're wonderful. I don't need them for Coco, really. Coco doesn't really kick that hard, and I tried using them on her at first, but her legs are so long and lanky, they just don't seem to do anything for her. But, so it's basically a little strap with some hooks on it. And these are Velcro. They go around the leg just to prevent them from kicking. It doesn't hurt them or anything, but it's great. She's a kicker. Like, she's always kicking. As long as there's grain, she's like, I don't care, do what you want. As soon as she's done eating her grain, she starts kicking. And the problem with that is she eats so fast that I can't get milking done before she's done her grain.
Right.
You wanna go feed the chickens?
No.
Hold on. You're not quick enough. There is my bounty. I'm assuming this is going to be just over 2 liters. It'll be about almost 3 liters. So as promised, I am going to share with you guys how I am going to make some cheese today. Goat milk cheese from our raw goat's milk. First, we'll start with 4 liters of raw goat's milk. The fresher, the better. Next, you'll start by heating the milk, and we want to bring it up to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Making sure you stir continuously so the milk is heated evenly throughout. Once it is 80 degrees Fahrenheit, turn off the stove and remove from heat. Next, you'll want to measure a 1/4 cup distilled or unchlorinated cool water. Now we'll take our animal rennet, measure out roughly 1/2 teaspoon. And now we'll mix in with our cool distilled water. Once it's mixed in, we will add it to our heated milk and we will stir, making sure to incorporate it throughout the milk. Now that it's well mixed in, we will put our lid back on and set our timer for 1 hour and let it sit undisturbed. It's officially been 1 hour, so now we will take the lid off and get a sharp knife or a cheese knife if you have, and we are going to cut into the cheese. Here I'm doing a poke test just to see if it's solidified or coagulated, I guess is the proper term. Here I'm slicing into it, making sure I'm nice and gentle, and I'm going nice and slow to make sure I don't mess this up. Now I'm going to cut in the opposite direction and also on an angle, going diagonally in. I have my knife pointed on an angle just to make sure the curds are a nice size. Now that I have cut all the curds, I am going to put this back on the heat for roughly 5 minutes on medium heat. Now that it's been 5 minutes, I let the curds set and I'm taking a slotted spoon and gently stirring the curds. I want the curds to start to stick back together, and that is the whole point of this. Now you can see the curds are starting to get a little bit smaller and they're starting to stick together more. At this point, I started using my hands just so I could get a good feel for what the cheese was feeling like. And once the curds started to get thin and sticky and start to really stick together again, that's when I knew it was time to start pushing them back together, like pressing them. So at this point in the process, you'll notice that the curds are really starting to get sticky and stretchy, and then you know it is time to put both hands in the pot and really start squeezing that cheese together. You want to try to press out as much whey as possible. Because this water is like really hot, or the whey is really hot, I'm kind of just using my spoon. And at this point, I put the slotted spoon back in and I started using that because the whey was getting a little too hot. So be warned, this process does usually require rubber gloves, but I didn't have any on hand and I really wanted to get that cheese processed that day. So here I am squeezing it, bearing the heat on my bare hands. In it, that all the whey got squished out. Once you notice that there isn't really much whey getting squeezed out of the cheese anymore, then you know the squeezing process is almost done. Okay. Now, so from the pot, I put it into my mold and I squished down the top part of that to really get as much whey out as possible. I flipped it around and did the same to the other side. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is salt. We're gonna salt the cheese, and you don't want to use iodized salt because it will turn it green, so it's not very appetizing. But I'm just going to use some Himalayan sea salt. And if the cheese is too salty, you can just go and rinse it off after, because really it's on the outside that it's salty. So I'm just gonna kind of rub it in, make sure it's on all the sides. I'm gonna put it back in the mold, and what you want to do is let it cure for about 3 days before you eat it. So I'm gonna leave it in this mold. I'm gonna cover it with some plastic wrap and put it in the fridge, and then in 3 days we'll try it. Salting it draws that extra whey out. And with this cheese mold, I just ordered it on Amazon. You can see there's little holes on the bottom of it. So any of the whey that is in there, it will drain out of the bottom. Making sure that it's on a plate so that any of the whey that drains out, it won't make a mess in my fridge.